Welcome to Airheads. Coming up, international bunny bashing. Well, it soon could be. We're back in stunning Scotland with James Marchington. Terry tells us what's the most important thing when choosing an air rifle. We have Airstreaming, we have Hot Air with news of the new best airgunner in the world. First, technical editor of Airgun World magazine and airgunner Phill Price shows that it pays to have a clear field of view by using the leftovers from one of his notorious bunga bunga parties.
People often say, well, I can't believe I was trying to take a shot at that squirrel in a tree or a pigeon or whatever, and I missed. Well, very often the reason you miss is because you've clipped a twig. And people say, oh yeah, but you know, I use a heavy pellet and a 2.2, couldn't possibly be deflected by a little twig. Well, I'm going to prove to you that any pellet of any calibre, even at high power, will always be deflected by any kind of twig. Now, that's your normal cocktail stick. It's that strong. Tiny little thing. Would you even see that in a tree? Maybe not. But if your pellet touches that, I promise you it will not land where you were looking. So the little test rig I've built to show you exactly what happens is a block of clear Lexan that's got toothpicks lined up in it. The gaps between them are narrower than a 177, so you can't get a fly straight through, and clearly 2.2s are going to hit more of them. So I'm going to try and shoot directly at the bullseye. There will be contact with the sticks and we'll see where the pellets land. So as you can see, that one, it only barely clipped the side of the cocktail stick. I mean, it didn't really even do much damage, but look how far that's pushed that away from being on target. So this is only something like 10 inches behind the target. Imagine if you were shooting at 30 yards to, say, a squirrel, and you clip something at 15 yards, the pellet will just deflect and go off. It could be 10 feet away by the time it gets to where your squirrel is. So if you wonder why you missed, it's because you hit something on the way. And one of the useful things that somebody taught me was when you're shooting in very heavily wooded areas is to use lower magnification, because at high mag you don't see these things. When you drop the mag down, you're more likely to see the twig that's in your way and be able to move a little bit left, a little bit right to compensate for that, and you'll stand a much better chance. And it just goes to prove how completely unpredictable it is. That last shot cut the stick clean off and went exactly where it was pointing. The others had barely touched the twigs, and an inch and a quarter away from where I was looking, and that's only over a short span. If that was over a longer distance, it'd have missed by a mile. So don't shoot twigs, kids. We've even shot pellets through them with a high power gun. This is a 32 foot-pound 2.2, and even these are deflected, and you may think that's a lot more weight of pellet, a lot more energy. Well, it doesn't matter. Anything that gets knocked out of its stable flight will be deflected. This gun at 25 yards will put every single pellet through the same hole, no problem at all. But after clipping one stick, look at that, there must be 3/4 of an inch out. That's 32 foot-pound, the 16 grain pellet. That's a lot of energy for an air gun, but one tiny cocktail stick knocked that completely off course.
Phill, as usual, going the extra mile there. A specially designed cocktail stick holder. Who'd have thought it? Now, someone who often claims he doesn't get invited to those kinds of parties, it's David with Hot Air.
This is Hot Air. The world has two new men and women 10-metre airgun world champions. Competing in the ISSF Championships in Granada in Spain, Yang Haoran took gold for China in the men's and Petra Zublasing for Italy in the women's, beating reigning Olympic champion Yi Sling of China by 0.3 points. Bisley will soon be hosting the Open Championships for air rifle and air pistol. The competition runs from the 19th to the 21st of September and will take place during the NSRA National Pistol Shooting Championships. All rounds will take place at the Lord Roberts Centre. For more, email competitions@nrsa.co.uk. Now, are you into surfing? and airgunning, well, there could be a holiday just up your street. You can now go on an airgunning holiday in North Devon. The Ultimate Adventure Centre in Bideford includes water sports, mountain boarding, and has now added an airgun range. Go to theultimatehigh.com. Spanish airgun manufacturer Gamo has joined forces with American TV series The Bone Collectors to produce a new air rifle for the States. It's a 177 1300 feet per second model priced at under $300. It includes scope and mounts. Also look out for the forthcoming BSA Marchington. Only joking. And finally, works to replace a weighbridge at a local rubbish depot has meant a horror for a local village, but a bonanza for local airgunners. Hundreds of rats have fled a council waste station and invaded residents' gardens, the estate green and play park. Contractors removed some concrete panelling and reported that up to 700 rats came pouring out. Local businesses have hired airgunners to keep the pests away. The rats is, not the contractors. You are now up to date with Hot Air, aiming for accuracy, targeting the truth.
Next up, airgunning legend Terry Doe. Did you know he once turned down a knighthood? What does he consider is most important when buying an airgun?
Terry, greatest of all terrapins. Tell one, when one buys an air rifle, what's vitally important?
Gun fit. Your rifle is going to come with a stock. Now what you want to do is to get that stock to either adapt to fit you or have it adapted to fit you. Too many people look at the potential power and accuracy of the action of the rifle without realising that unless that thing fits them properly, they will not be able to extract that performance. I had a fantastic piece of advice yesterday from a stock specialist. He said it's the action that fires the shot, but it's the stock that hits the target. And that is brilliant.
Thank you, Terry. Right, well, goodness knows what's going to happen to Scotland and its airgun laws in the near future. In the meantime, James Marchington has been enjoying his freedom with some long-range rabbit shooting.
I'm back on the Isle of Skye, and there can't be many hunting permissions with a glorious view like this one. The land is still swarming with rabbits, and the farmer wants them shot because they do terrible damage to the sheep pasture. So I stoked up the magazine for the BSA Scorpion SE and set off to see what I could find. I'm travelling light, using my rangefinder to spot ahead rather than carrying a separate pair of binoculars. This is lovely countryside, and it's ideal for stalking rabbits. There are plenty of little hills, dips and depressions you can use to sneak up on the quarry, so long as you're prepared to get down on hands and knees when necessary, and make good use of the rushes. I got some funny looks from the sheep, but that's fine, so long as they don't spook and frighten the rabbits. In this bright sunshine, the rabbits were a bit jumpy anyway, and several of them hopped off before I could get steady for a shot. Eventually, my patience paid off, and this one carried on feeding without spotting my approach through the rushes. So that's one in the bag, and here's another. This one was suspicious and stuck its head up for a better look. Big mistake. The most satisfying shot of the day though was this one. I measured the distance with my rangefinder at 68 yards. That needs a lot of holdover. You can see I'm using the long bar on the reticle, 6 bars down from the centre crosshairs. And it worked perfectly, a nice clean headshot at 68 yards. Since then I've had several more long-range rabbits. Next time I'll show you the equipment and techniques I'm using for these longer shots.
Lovely stuff from James there. Please let us know your thoughts on that one. Now let's go to the wider world of airgunning on YouTube. It is Airstreaming. Charlie Jacoby here. This is my weekly roundup of the best airgunning on YouTube. Hunters Vermin's latest is air rifle hunting Rabbit Hunt 43. He's out again with the BSA Super 10 after rabbits while the weather's still nice. A little more graphic than usual, ex-Siver is on a red squirrel hunt. Just to reassure red-loving British viewers, this is in America and it's a different species. Pest control with air rifles, a couple of rat sessions. How's Squirrel Hunter doing what he says on the tin? How do you make a fun exploding airgun target? Mil.airgun channel from Austria shows how to construct the Sonic Boom DIY target. It's safe, it's loud, and it is cheap. Rather like YouTube. Want to know what the airgunning scene in South Korea is like? Air rifle pheasant shows locals out after pheasants just like we target ferals. I love it when shops are out to help. Ben from the Airgun Centre channel shows how to operate the BSA multi-shot system you will find on the Ultra R10 and Scorpion. Crossman sponsored Eva Shockey is in California hunting turkeys with the Benjamin Trail Nitro Piston 2. Her first 2 shots are near misses, but the NP2 is quiet enough not to give her away. There, that's how to turn a negative into a positive. And finally, Florida Bullfrog has an old score to settle, which he does with an airgun. He's been after one white-faced boar on his property for 2 years, and at last he gets it. Click on the links to watch the videos, or you will find them in this film's description. If you would like to send in a video for Airstreaming, ping me the link, charlie@fieldsportschannel.tv. That's it. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. We're back in a couple of weeks.